You can draw this entire illustration in just 3 steps using Autodesk Sketchbook app. We are going to start off with a resolution of 2080 into 2860, and we are moving on to step 1, that is to draw a backdrop. Here we are going to use multiple of blue shade of color. You can use any type of backdrop. I thought for the background we need a little bit darker, but also at the same time we need some of the shades which is in darker and bring it out loud in our canvas. So we are using coarse watercolor brush to actually put this color across, and I'm going to add few lighter shade, and also I'm going to add one more layer above the base layer so that I can add the highlight. And then with the help of blending brush, I'm going to slowly blend it across from top to bottom, blending the lighter and darker shade together and slowly bringing it all the way down to the end of the canvas. You don't have to be exactly from top to bottom. You can actually smudge it around from the bottom to top, like from the darker to the lighter shade, but I feel like once we are done blending with the lighter shade, it's much easier to work with dark shade here. Now I feel like the rough edge of the canvas is enough, and we are hopping on to step 2, that is to draw a pink flower. Here I'm going to use tattoo inker to actually illustrate this. We are going to start off with the middle Berlin part of the illustration. I'm going to add 3 color here, one as the middle, one at the top, one at the bottom, and once we are done, we are going to merge the layer, and then we are going to use the help of wash brush to blend it across. So once we are done doing this, we just have to do one more step to add the rest of the flower. We have to make one petal, copy and paste the rest. That's it. It's one of the most easiest way you can actually illustrate flower in digital illustration rather than symmetry and whatsoever. Again, I'm using tattoo inker here. I'm using a shade of pink, and I also added a darker shade to the edge and a lighter shade on the top. And with the help of blending brush, I'm going to slowly blend this petal here, and then all I'm going to do is copy and paste across that entire middle part. So this petal part is actually the lower layer of the middle section, and then we have our stem layer, which will be the last layer. So the first layer will be the yellow portion, the second layer will be the pink, the third layer will be the green. So once we are done arranging this, I'm going to use flow airbrush to actually add the shadow and depth in the flower, and I forgot to record this. What I have done, I have used blacker shade and just followed it around and tiny bring it out in the middle of the petal so that it looks a little bit of realistic. And once done, I'm just going to go ahead with adding some more shadow in the flower because I feel like this is too pale. And then once done, I'm going to use a lighter shade for the highlight, and there it. I'm happy how this has turned out. Of course, flower is not the main element of this illustration. It is going to be butterfly. So once done, I have added a new layer beneath the flower layer, and I'm going to use the darker shade of green, and I added a new layer for the highlight. I'm going to use few lighter shade of the green, and then with the help of blending brush, I'm going to slowly blend it across. And this is definitely going to be one of the most easiest way you can illustrate flower. You can just leave the canvas as it is, and you can illustrate butterfly tomorrow. But if not, if you want to draw butterfly, you can continue following this next step. So once I'm done, I'm using flow airbrush to add the shadow to make it look like the blue is your wallpaper, okay? And then there is a flower in the vase which is not in the picture, and then we are just going to add a butterfly as it coming, and just it is on top of the flower, okay? So I just copy and pasted the flower layer beneath the main layer, and I filled it layer, and then I slowly reduced the opacity of it, making sure the shadow falls across in the wall. That's major highlight here. But if you don't want to do this step, you can definitely skip. It's not mandatory. I'm happy how this has turned out, and I'm just adding few more shadow using the flow airbrush, and we are moving on to the final step, that is to draw butterfly. It is very easy because we just have to do a 3 turn in butterfly and it's done. And I'm going to use tattoo inker for the body, a head, and a little elongated like a petal, a thick petal, and then I'm going to add 4 leg of butterfly, and I'm using fountain pen for that because I don't want that to be a little bulge or anything. And then few more antennas, that's what I call. And then we are going to add 3 wings of butterfly. So this actually look like a balloon in a distance, but then it's up to you how you want to. And we are going to use fill bucket to fill the layer, and I'm using white color to actually add those highlight in the butterfly wings. And then it's up to you. If you want to add few more dots of white, you can definitely go ahead, but I feel like I want the colorful bit on the wings to be popping out, not the white. So I'm just going to add this tiny circle or dot around the edge of the wing. Once I'm done, I'm going to use the same fountain pen to actually add the rest of the color. I had so much fun illustrating this, and I hope you will also enjoy illustrating. I think this is such a statement illustration. We have two bits here, one is the flower, one is the butterfly, and at the same time you are going to add few more elongated detail as the followed by wing. Okay, like you say, I have illustrated and then I felt like no, it is too cramped up. We are going to add few more steps here. That is, we are just going to make it look like there is a shadow, the wing is there, and then there is a colorful pattern in the wing. Okay, so you just have to make sure you don't have to go exactly like this. You can add any color you want. You can add more shade of blue, more shade of pink in butterfly, or the teal color butterfly. It's up to you. I'm just going to fill the layer, and I'm using flow airbrush to add the orange color here. At the same time, I could have just done using the same fountain pen and then blend it across. Later for the rest of two wing, I did that same step. Okay, so all I'm doing is using blending brush to slowly blend it across, and please make sure to use your sweet time because these are all in 4x speed, and it really took me half an hour to bring this entire illustration into life. So once we are done blending this, we are going to do the exact same thing for the rest of the wing. And also, if you are not yet subscribed to my newsletter, you should definitely, because it is one of the most heartfelt newsletter from our channel to you, all of my followers and subscribers. And even if you're not subscriber, make sure to please subscribe this channel because there's so many interesting content coming in. The newsletter is somewhere I share my heartfelt notes to you because I can't be pen to pan with each and every one. Is just a weekly what had happened, what I have learned through podcast, through my book. Why is the illustration, why is certain illustration or certain day, what is behind the motivation of illustrating, because art is something which is truly connected to your heart and it's not easy to bring it everything on the canvas. So here I'm just doing the exact same thing, right? With the help of fountain pen, I'm going to add an outline and then fill it with 2 or 3 shades of color, and then with the help of blending brush, I'm slowly blending it across. So make sure to use your sweet time. Once you are done illustrating, please make sure to tag me in your Instagram. I'd love to see how this has turned out for you. And also, I'm super happy because there's so many recommendations for me to illustrate. Of course, I do have a note where I write it down what I have to illustrate. And since this is like every day, and my channel is a challenge for myself to post every single day, so a few things are already planned and few things are just going to be added to the wish list. So if you have requested, please hold on, very soon I'll be publishing it as well. Till then, you can actually enjoy the entire illustration. And thank you for all of your love and support. I'm really truly thankful for that. And make sure you too have a great life. Enjoy yourself. Life is very short. You don't have to worry about anything because nobody cares what you do, how you do. As long as you're happy, do what you feel it is right, because that's what it matters at the end of the day. At least one person, if they learn something great lesson from you and they implement in their life that make their drastic change, it's actually what your impact in the current world is actually about. So make sure you do your best, leave the rest to the world, because good things eventually comes to win. So till then, take care, bye bye, have a great life, see you all tomorrow. And we are also at the end of the illustration.